Hey, what's up? James Conrad here, Mob Wives, episode 3, Storm a Brewing. Okay, so we start out in the first scene, continue from last episode with the fight. We have Karen and Natalie face to face, Ange on looking like, this is my fucking party, why is this happening today? And we have Drita trying to break them up, saying this is not going to happen here. People are watching the watching. Um, so anyways, Karen put her hands up and's like, I'm not touching the bitch. I'm not touching her because, basically because because she's a cop caller. She's gonna call the cops and then she's gonna get in trouble. And she really can't get in trouble because of her family name and, her. I mean, she have a daughter to look out for. That's not gonna look cute, not a cute look. So anyway, Natalie just running her mouth, and finally Karen get fed up and walk over there and tell her, you may call my dad a rat, but you're a pig, bitch. And then chest bump her. I haven't seen a chest bump that good in ages. Anyway, long story short, the fight end up with a walk away. All that anticipation from last week, and they just end up walking away. So the next thing, we go to Drita on the phone with Lee. Now, I don't know what you mob wives are doing this season, but I'm really appreciating the jewelry all over the place. Because Drita is on the phone with Lee, of course. As I told you last week, Lee's always on the phone, which is okay. Which is okay. You could just look him up on the internet if you want to see what he looked like, I guess. But I think that's a good scene. It just really adds the excitement to me. Like, I don't know. I like that. I was like, dumb. I know. But I do. I like it. Okay, so she have the jewelry in front of her. She talking about how Lee's a good daddy and how stressful it is outside of jail to, take care of the family with a job and kids and all that. Anyway, long story short, they plan a date night. How romantic. Natalie and London are the next scene, and Natalie on the phone acts pissy because I guess she wanted London to fight Storm or something. She's saying Storm threw a dig out. I mean, you could take it that way, but I just think she's looking for a reason myself. Um, anyway, so London comes over, and I hope you guys peeped out his shorts. Did you guys look at them? They were crazy. Anyway, London always be dressing like a really snazzy dresser, if you know what I mean. Okay, so they fight and then going on a walk down the neighborhood, and they arguing the whole way. And London basically saying he's like a peacemaker, he's calm, he's not gonna be doing all that. And Natalie's like doesn't get it. She's like, basically you should go hit everybody and yell at everybody. So nothing really got resolved. Then the next scene, Karen and Renee are on a walk, and Karen, you know how I love the way you tell the story of what happened the previous night, the drunken monkey. So she's telling Renee everything. I mean, Karen's such a very thorough teller of a story. I like that. I like that a lot. I like that, Karen. I do. You just know what the fuck's going on. Anyway, and Renee basically sitting there like, just listening because she wasn't invited. And she, at the end bring up that she would like to call Ange because this is ridiculous. They shouldn't be doing all that. They shouldn't be doing all that. And they bring up Natalie, of course. And Renee basically feels that Natalie's best position is to be put in a bag and sent to sanitation. Do you think of these things, Renee? Like, do you sit down and write these things on a pad and practice them before your little confessionals? And then just when you're tired, because you're really good at that. I like the way you express these things. Okay, so then Ange, is the next scene, and here it comes. Miss Victoria Gotti come on the show. So Ange pull up, right? You know what I'm saying? She go to the boss of all bosses, and she says that she's going to ask her for advice. So, Victoria Gotti very calm compared to these other mob wives. She's the boss's daughter, apparently, and she says people basically treat her the way she allows them to treat her. And I thought that was very strong. She's a boss. She's a gangster. You're not gonna fuck with Victoria. You're not gonna fuck with her. Anyway, she asked Ange if there's any personalities in the group that are stirring things, of course, and say Natalie, because Natalie does stir it. She stirs the pot, a lot. She does that a lot. Basically, the women are out of control, and Victoria tells Ange that they should set up boundaries, and basically sit down and tell these ladies, what is okay and what's not okay, which I think is a good piece of advice for anybody. I'm going to go to work tomorrow and tell people what is okay and what is not okay. Maybe I won't do that. Everything's okay at work usually. Anyway, let's see here. Ange, Drita, and Natalie having a sit down. Now this episode, they had I think 3 or more sit downs. Except for the one at the end, but I'll tell you what it was called. It wasn't a sit down, but it looked just like one. So they're sitting down, and basically, Natalie gonna do what Natalie gonna do. And just trying to give her the reasons, and Drita trying to give her the reason, and they're saying, basically about London, that he's not a guy from the streets, and, maybe that's good for her personality, because maybe she needs that, because she's so aggressive, and all this other stuff. And then they bring up Karen, and Natalie just goes straight for it, disrespecting and doing all kinds of stuff again. So just Natalie gonna do what Natalie gonna do. She just asking for it, I guess. The next scene is Renee going to Karen's house, new house, whatever, looks real nice. Nice countertops and stuff. And Renee props herself right up on the countertop, and they go into it. So they start talking about Storm. And now I didn't see this coming. But Karen talking about how, she woke up late and was like, she slept through her alarm, which I've done a million times. And that there is that feeling. I know everybody feel this. There is just a human connection. I know we all feel this. That feeling when you miss your alarm and you're like, fuck! And then you have to get up and throw on everything and try to look the best and race. Race to get wherever you have to go. But I just, that fuck feeling, oh my God, I know that. But then to wake up and have some strange rando bitch inside your living room. Storm. That was not very slick. Not very slick, Storm. Anyway, so let's see, what is next? What happened next? Oh my God. Then it's Ange and Drita. Yeah, Ange and Drita. Ange and Drita. So Ange and Drita are sitting down and basically saying that, Ange is upset because AJ had tested dirty and had to go to Rikers and missed the birth of Angelina, the daughter. And, Ange is upset as anybody would be. So Drita's basically saying, maybe this is what he needed. Maybe he needed a wake-up call. Maybe this is what is good for him. I mean, look at Lee. Lee was in and missed a whole bunch of stuff, and he's out. He's doing so good. Which basically made Ange feel better. Then it's Renee going to family dinner with AJ and Andrea. I was like, I'm not sure. I can't remember, but it's one of those. Anyways, they're sitting down talking about marriage, and AJ seemed better since he went to go live with his grandfather. He doesn't seem as disrespectful as this was last episode, but he still got that attitude. Basically, they talk about marriage. Like, AJ's like, he's gonna do what he wants. Like, who cares if approve it? And Renee's like, no, I have to approve. And then she talked about how she might plan on getting married and how she want to move away from New York because there's nothing there for her but drama. Where would she move to? I'm just curious. I know it wouldn't be any place like Minnesota or Utah. She'd probably move out here to California. Maybe she'll move to California. Renee, we would like you to come out here if you want to move. Anyway, so it end up with, okay, and then Ange and AJ call on the phone. Basically, AJ telling Ange that, jail sucks. Can't wait to be home. We miss you. And that sucks, but that's all right. Then we get to the beef of it. Okay, Karen's sitting there at her house and basically saying she needs Storm there. She's like, and she's talking over her, looking, saying through stuff and just doing stuff. Anyways, and she's saying that she needs Storm there, because she's moving her daughter there to New York and it's a permanent stay. And she moved from Arizona just to get everything there, you know, and he's not really stepping up or something like that. And with his new rando in the living room situation, she's not really sure. So Storm showed up unannounced. Oh my goodness, and Karen just said she needed a space. Karen just said that. I mean, we all saw it. I don't know why Storm wasn't watching. She needs a space, Storm. So they get the space. Well, actually, they don't. She lets them in. And, well, no. They go sit. Okay, I'm just so excited about this. I didn't see it come. I was shocked. They sit out on the porch, and they basically, so in a Storm's trying to flip the script, saying it's Karen's fault. Now, women, if any of you are watching, don't let nobody do that to you. That's an old school trick from the 90s. We got to get over it. Fight for the power. Don't let nobody scream. It's not your fault if somebody else brought a random bitch into your house. How is that your fault? Anyway, so Storm trying. And Karen just basically trying to, you know, explain herself and she getting upset. So when she gets so upset, she have to get up and leave. And when she get up and leave, Storm go like this, which made me think Karen have hit her before. Like more than a couple of times. Because he flinched like, you know, like, oh my God, like Karen gonna hit me again. Anyway, so they both walk off. You think that's going to be the end, but the Storm come back and sit down in a red chair. He sits down and Karen's like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need you here. I don't need you here, Storm. You should go over there. I don't need you here, Storm. I was like, but Storm saying he's not going nowhere. And then Karen just break it down. She break up with him. She say she done. Now, she gets so upset that he say not going. She get up and leave her own house. Which I think was a good way to diffuse the situation. And Karen is very smart. Instead of getting the cops called to the house or domestic dispute or anything like that or cracking them over the head or whatever she was going to do, she just got up and left the situation. Very classy, Karen. I was like, so I guess Karen is single. I was like, that sucks, but, you know, don't put up with the bullshit. Anybody. Don't put up with any bullshit. That's bullshit. Okay, so the very end is when they driving up to the sit down with Ange. Now they drive up and they sit down to have the sit down. And they say it's not a sit down. Now I've seen sit downs before, and that's what it looked like. It looked like they just sat down and they're about to handle the shit. But they said instead they're going to call it just women talking. So they were talking. Now they're going back and forth, and this is weird. Renee says you know exactly why their problem lies, and that's in Natalie. And their problem lies because Natalie had the word lie at the end of her name. I told you guys that last week. I wonder if you guys looked it up. I was like, it's true. I was like, anyway, so then, as they're talking, they have this dramatic car pull up, and the leg come out of the car and everything. And you're thinking, like, who is this? Who is this? At first, I thought it was Drita because it was a white car. And then I thought it was maybe Karen. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, maybe it would be Karen. I don't know. I was just like, because they didn't show the back of the car. They just showed it was a car and it was white. Anyway, so the leg coming out. So then it moved to screenshot to Renee looking over and Ange kind of like smirking. And Renee's like, I see this woman in a suit walking up, and basically like, who is this bitch? And so they ended right there. It looked like Ange set up Renee. Now, because I know what happens next because of the little preview, I know that Renee is alive and well. So it was not a setup, guys. Don't worry about it. Renee will be back next week. Okay, so, but the only thing with all the preview was dramatic. They're going to have a lot of stuff coming on next week. I can't wait. But basically, they ended it with Renee, Drita, and Karen agreeing that Natalie belongs in the sewer. Anyway, guys, that's it for this time. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be short and sweet. Subscribe if you like. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Prince J. Conrad. Anyway, have a good night. Love you guys and be nice to everyone.